That kid Mikey back in it on the west side with all the purple, man. All the purple's going on today with the Kings. We're talking about their new 2021 roster and what moves they're making as far as their team preview. Let's look at some of the stats here and understand what moves they made over the summer. And first off, look at who was there and who's probably gone. So kicking off, Frank Kaminsky, free agent. Recently, Vince Edwards, free agent. Quentin Ross, free agent. Alex Len, scratch it in my head right now, free agent. Bojan Bogdanovic, we know about the trade. We'll talk about that. Corey Brewer, this is a gentleman that always comes in on the tail end of the season and possibly gets signed with the team. So that, no kudos there. We understand that situation. Daquan Jeffries, the guy was supposed to be big on the Orlando Magic. Looks like he's making his way out as well. Harry Giles, we know where he went. Went over to the Portland Trail Blazers. Just did that video. Check that out. And Kent Bazemore, hopefully he's re-signed. Yogi Ferrell is another guy. So these are all the free agents they had over the summer or off-season. And we're going to jump into what did they do? Who did they sign? Vince Edwards is re-signed. Quentin Rose re-signed. Jamius Ramsey, I'm excited about him. That's the rookie out of Texas Tech. They re-signed this kid. Well, they signed this kid up. Glenn Robinson, he's also there. Looks to be signed, okay? Frank Kaminsky was signed, and then they let him go, all right? So then Robert Woodward's there. He's a guy that they're still holding on to. Daquan Jeffries, look at the dates, right? He looks like he's re-signed. Chimis Mitu, re-signed. Hassan Whiteside, staying put. Tyrese Halliburton, big draft pick, staying put. And we know about De'Aaron Fox signed that long-term extension, which is pretty amazing, okay? So I just talked about Vince Edwards sign, but I go to the bottom again, and I'm shit. One day, boom, boom, boom. Here are the Frank Kaminsky gone, Vince Edwards gone, and Quentin Ross. So that was enough pain with that, with all the moves. I guess the key things we want to talk about and key in on, because I go in detail on the stats, is Jamius Ramsey. We got to look at Hassan Whiteside, Tyrese Halliburton. Those are the key guys. The draftee's obviously going to be signed. But what's up with Alex Len, right? What's the scenario there? Kent Bazemore is another guy, okay? What is going on there? And there's probably moves that are going to be made or not going to be made. Now, checking out the roster and the depth chart, De'Aaron Fox, obviously, one of the top point guards in the NBA, in my opinion, okay? He's an extremely great talent. Incredible speed. He can do a lot of things on the court. I like De'Aaron Fox. He's an exciting player. But when we go to his second string, it's Tyrese Halliburton. The guy out of Iowa land is making waves as a potential superstar. It's not. Let me step back. A potential all-star in this league, right? He's borderline. To me, I don't see it yet, but I guess as we see the intangibles, we'll start to learn more on what this kid can do. The guy that really intrigues me based upon the offseason, he's not even on the depth chart, Kyle Guy. Great couple games for him. They got their three-point gunner. He's earned himself some minutes in this preseason by the way he played. Haven't seen much of Jamius Ramsey. Corey Joseph, of course, is the big defensive guy. And then we got on the shooting guard position side is Buddy Hill. Buddy Hill figuring out what they want to do with him. Do they want to re-sign? Do they want to move Tyrese Halliburton into a slot? A lot of question marks for this team here at the shooting guard position. Is Buddy Hill a true starter, or is he coming off the bench? If he's not a starter and he's coming off the bench and Buddy Hill wants to leave, where does he go? I don't, again, that's a question mark. There's a few teams that need him, but not too many, okay? Buddy Hill is not really that great that I would say, hey, I'm moving, I'm going to move Jamal Murray for you. I mean, at the end of the day, he looks to be a good scorer, and he does look like he fits more of the six-man role, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens. He's on this team. Hopefully they keep him, pairing him with De'Aaron Fox. They lose a little bit of height and defense, and that's my only issue, and that's at the shooting guard position. Looking at Woodward Jr., I don't know what he'll do this year. Again, maybe a good practice player. Corey Joseph is there. So as you can see, I think they're thin here at this role, right? Daquan Jeffries, let's see what he can do. Definitely an athletic player, but he hasn't really ever gotten any minutes. So Kyle Guy may come in and get some minutes here at the shooting guard position. And in the West Coast that's stacked, you're already in trouble with this shooting guard lineup that you have here. You're in big trouble. Let's go into the small forward side. Harrison Barnes. Yes, old Yeller still there, still playing, still probably young as well. Came in at such a young age. One of the top All-Americans when he was coming out of high school. Played for Golden State, had a show-out year, and then started getting paid, all right? Glenn Robinson Jr. is his backup. This is a solid small forward lineup. Your 3-and-D guy. These are your two. Not bad. Not bad. But again, when you look at the West Coast, when I just went over the Portland Trail Blazers, they're going to be in a lot of trouble, and they're going to put a lot of work in to try to compete. So, but it's all about team chemistry. So if the Portland Trail Blazers don't gel, right, I'm mentioning them because this is a race for the 8th slot at the end of the day. I feel this is all we got right now. You probably got maybe 2 slots that are available, the 7th and 8th slot. And there's going to be a lot of teams hunting for it because I think this 5 or 6 top best teams are the 5 or 6 best teams. It is what it is. All right. Harrison Barnes, Glenn Robinson. Maybe Woodward comes in. Justin James is there. A solid rookie pick. Again, depth is good, but don't know his impact. Don't know what he can do. You know, maybe a 3 and 4 point, 2 and 2 rebound type player in a couple minutes. Not bad, but I can't talk about him here when you got that type of talent on the Portland Trail Blazers and the Denver Nuggets. So we got to see what happens here with Barnes and Glenn Robinson. They're solid. If Glenn can finally live up to potential, yeah, I said it. If he can live up to potential, we could see something dangerous, but he hasn't this far in his career. Not sure if he's going to be able to turn it on or get the opportunity. But they're similar players. I like that. I'm going to continue on. Marvin Bagley Jr., yeah, the third, comes in exciting, right? This is their big 2. We talk about big 4 all the time on Mikey Step Back. My movement is it's got to be 4 guys. They got to be 4 guys on your squad. I'm sorry. You can't rely on just 1 or 2 or 3, right? The 3 was the game. You know, you need the big 3. Now it's the big 4. De'Aaron Fox, Marvin Bagley. You got to give it to Buddy Hield there. But other than that, Harrison Barnes, no offense, has been solid. He can do that in spurts, but he's not consistent. Bagley's going to have to come through this year. This is his year to show out. They're not going to make the playoffs, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm saying it early. But he can show out this year and show his thing. Now, there's a couple guys on the bench who I think you should be worried about who can come in and maybe change my opinion. There's a guy by the name of Jabari Parker that's constantly injured. But if given the game time, is probably one of the top 20 offensive forces at the forward position. I love what he can bring to the table. It's still that Chicago swing. I don't know what it is. Okafor is another one. They know how to put the ball in the basket, okay? A la Michael Beasley. Like to see Jabari get some minutes. I think I actually like Parker better here, taking over some of that forward time versus the power forward time, in my opinion. But he'll have a big advantage with speed, so obviously they're going to try to play him here. Nemanja Bjelica, he's a guy that can shoot the 3, stretch the floor. I like that position. I think at power forward, they're pretty solid with these 3 coming in the rotation. Now at center, Richaun Holmes, the big athletic beast, the big Hulk of beast, just a superior athlete, great intensity, and has a passion for the game. I can see that the way he plays. I like Holmes here. He's a solid center. He can do the job. If only they had another big talent here at the shooting guard position, I think that's what they're missing. Buddy Hood's solid, but is he T-Mac? Is he Jalen Green? Is he Jonathan Kuminga? You see where I'm going here? Anyhow, that's where we're at with the Kings in their lineup. Whiteside backs up Richaun Holmes. Whiteside is solid, one of the top shot blockers last year in the NBA. So after going through all this in the roster and the transactions and the changes, we know there's going to be 2 big years for De'Aaron Fox and Marvin Bagley. They're going to have to. Buddy Hield, he's a scorer. He should be able to put up between 16 and 20 points per game. I'm saying it here. He should get the opportunity, okay? Because they have no choice. Harrison Barnes, maybe the same, you know, between 12 and 15 points a game, maybe more. They may swap that type of point percentage, right, in the high teens. Fox is going to have to be a high teens guy. That's what he is, not necessarily a scorer, but an all-around player. Bagley's going to have to somebody's going to have to jump in that 20 range. I think in the beginning of the season is going to be Barnes because he has experience. He knows the game. He knows the speed. But Bagley is going to eventually have to be that guy, and I expect a breakout season. Let's go into where they end up as far as when we look at the teams and the West Coast, and why I say there's no chance in smoking hell that they make the playoffs. All right, they're situated in the Pacific Division, where there's the Golden State Warriors, the LA Clippers, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Phoenix Suns. I don't think they're going to be the best team in fourth place in their conference. They'll be last. I mean, Phoenix Suns has Chris Paul. You know, they got Booker. You know, they got DeAndre Ayton. They got a big three. Kings don't even have that. Lakers have LeBron James, Davis. Throw in there, you know, they got several. Schrader, LeBron James is 2-1, right? So Davis is 2-1. So that's enough. Clippers, Kawhi, Paul. I mean, this is too much. Golden State, Steph Curry, right? Dre Green, right? Draymond Green. They added a couple other folks, Kelly Oubre. I mean, this is their best shot at taking something here from either the Warriors or the Suns because of the injuries. But really, I don't think they can play, man, with these squads. Now, to make it worse, that's just one conference. Now you add on the Northwest, Nuggets, Portland Trail Blazers, Utah Jazz. That's 3. You're already out of the playoffs. I haven't even got to the Southwest. You're out of the playoffs already if you got all these teams here and all these teams here. Okay? Now we add on the Southwest. Dallas Mavericks, I expect big things from Luka Magic. He's going to step it up. Houston is in turmoil. Would love to see Harden stay. Don't see where he goes. But that's another team that, you know, could probably muster a playoff run. Memphis was there last year. They were close. They want to get in. They're gelled. Okay, remember what I'm saying, because sometimes teams have more talent, a la Portland Trailblazers. However, they haven't gelled yet. And if you haven't gelled yet, you can get in trouble. I do think that Memphis has a chance. New Orleans Pelicans, what strides can they make this year? And San Antonio Spurs, there's no chance for the Kings, okay? With that roster that they have currently, they are pitching for the lottery, and I argue that's probably one of the smartest moves they can have. Now, they can prove me wrong with a couple of guys I just mentioned. I mentioned Jabari Parker showing out, Harrison Barnes showing out, Glenn Robinson showing out. Those guys are going to have to come out of nowhere with something I've never seen. Or step Kyle Guy up, give him a more prominent role. He was exciting in the preseason. Love to see what he does in regular season. They got some pieces, but I just don't think it's enough. At this time, Sacramento Kings headed to the lottery, and next year, come around this same time with the draft, around June, July, I think there's going to be an exciting time for this team if they can add in a Jalen Green or Jonathan Kuminga, who works perfectly and matches perfectly with this squad. I'm going to sign off here, stepping back. Mikey, yeah, the Kings are out of here. I'm sorry, but the lottery is a great place for them. I'm out. Peace.